Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. To all my graceful audience, Assalamu alaikum. I am Rahmat Empowerment Wala, striving to achieve self sustainability for me and for the people alike. I am host of this interview series named Empowering Minds. In this interview series, our motive and objective is to call upon such prestigious guests who have not just empowered their own minds, but they are trying to empower other minds too, so that we get to learn from their experiences and get motivated by their passion towards the betterment of the society. Uh, to serve the purpose, we have our guest today, Krister Edman, who's a career well-being coach, and he's from Sweden, specifically Stockholm. And we'll start talking to him. We'll learn from him, from his experiences. So let's go jump towards him. So hello, Krister.
Hello, Remat. How are you?
How are you? I'm great. Thanks for asking. How are you?
I am also great. Thank you. And thank you for inviting me to this interview series.
Thank you, Krista, that you have given me time and you stick to it, and you are here with us to spread knowledge, what you know. Thank you.
Thank you. My pleasure.
So, so Krista Edman, for our audience, tell us who is Krista Edman.
Oh, first of all, I am a human being. I'm a father to two daughters. I am a person who are dedicated to support people. I think we are here on earth to help each other, to be the best of ourselves and to help others. I can give a little bit more background. I'm 64 years of age. I'm retired. I've been working with an IT business. I worked at IBM for 7 years. I have been business partner to IBM as well. I have been working for Ericsson telecom company. I have been working with many different kind of works as logistics manager. I've been working as team leader, project manager, and also within different kind of business like clothing industry and so on. So many different kind of works, but my passion is to coach people. I got to know that when I was working as a team leader, that people, and we worked at IBM and I was project managing a project, and we had people from India, and I noticed how hard it can be when you're leaving your family and start to work in another country, and also for the people who were actually losing their jobs at the company here in Sweden, because it was a lot of knowledge transfer and so on, which is a part of the development in the world. And when we look at what we can do for each other, I noticed this is the most important for me, was to be with the people and talk to my colleagues and make them to go through this change process, which was very challenging for many of them. And after that, I started up my own business and started up as a community coach. And I was working in a rural area where I supported people with laydowns within the paper industry, the paper mill. And what was happening was people used more and more the digital services, and it was not so much paper needed anymore, so they had to lay off. And then I was in there and coaching people as a job coach, and later on I noticed it was not so easy to live because I lost my wife after 19 years marriage, and she was only 43. I was 43 too at that time. We had our two daughters, 9 and 11. She was sick 1 year. I was living 3.5 months with the children at the hospice. And that was a very challenging time, because when you lose someone you love and you see people suffer, and there were many people who were sick at the hospice, and people have really hard to talk about hard things like death and sickness and so on. So they avoided to talk. I was the only one who lived there and stayed over. So every night it was always someone I was talking to, and went through a process, I should say, an internal process that I had to make a choice. Do I want to live and see the good thing in people and accept that we all will die someday, some earlier and some later, but we can't choose it ourselves. So uh, I noticed that people like to listen to me, and later on I got an opportunity because I lost everything. I was a little bit, I should say, lost when my wife died. It was after 1 year sickness. I was really lost, and I went into a new relationship which was too early. I was not finished with my grieving process and everything, but I tried to tell myself that I was. But this happened 22 years ago when she passed away. 21 years ago. She passed away in 2002. And then I realized after 11 years, I need to break up. I need to work on myself. I lost everything. I was homeless. I was jobless. I had no money. I had only debts. And then I was thinking, what shall I do with my life? And then I had to go to the employment services and start up and say, I don't know what to do. I am totally lost. I have earned a lot of money. I have like given everything away. I am broken. And I got help from one job coach who said to me, I think that you should be good in coaching other people. Have you thought about coaching people? And I was like, me coaching, I need a coach, I need to come up. But I started to apply for jobs. I got a job at the prison in 2015. And that changed my life because I came into the prison and noticed they are listening to me, because I was thinking, how can I connect with the people here? And then I was thinking, okay, I tell them I lost my wife. I have fought my whole life. I have been homeless. I am not having anything. I just have to work my way back, so to say, and ask for help from other people because I can't manage myself everything. And when I opened up, when I told the truth, then my life started to change. It became better and better, and I got to know that people, they actually care about each other, but you must be honest. I couldn't go with my mask and play as I was a good businessman, but I was broken, total broken. I had only debts. So that was, I should say, a total change of lifestyle, which I had to go through. First of all, I had a villa, I had everything, I had money, we traveled, and everything was working well. But at that time, when I lost everything, I was sitting at the hotel, Royal Viking. It's one of the bigger hotels in the city of Stockholm. Inside, I could sit inside. Outside was a poor woman. She was begging on the street. I was sitting inside, still with my mask on, trying to hide that my shoes was totally broken. They were not good at all. So I was feeling ashamed, but I was fighting for coming back. So then I saw people, and when I see people are suffering, I was thinking it could be me. It could be me. The only difference was that I was having some nice clothes. I could have a shirt and so on. So I was still sitting, but I was faking my life. And that is never good. So I decided I want to help people. So in the prison, I started, when I told this story, it was like they listened to me, and then they were thinking differently about me. And I had friends who they have been criminals. So they were ex-criminals. So I brought my first friend with me, said, I want you as a guest speaker because you have changed your life and you have lived their life. I can't say I know them, what they are going through. I can only tell my story. So my friend said, okay, I go with you to the prison as a guest speaker. And he said the first time, I'm walking through the gate and I can go out from the prison the same day. So he was laughing and had really fun. And when he came in there, it was like a success because they listened to him. And since they listened to him, they started to listen to me and we could start training. So I was training them in entrepreneurship. I was training them in education system, the different options they have. And I was also training them in job seeking and laws and rules as a job seeker and as an employee. So it was, I should say, everything was like, okay, I have been there, but I will not stay there. And I still had my debts, but I called the tax authority and they were like trying to get the money from my company I was working for when I was working at the prison. And I told them, don't tell them anything now. I need to pay. I will make an agreement with you. I will pay the amount you say to me, but don't tell my employer because otherwise they might fire me and saying that I am the same as they are, so they can't keep me at work. So I was working really hard. I bought a bicycle. I folding bicycle. I took it on the bus. I was like cycling back and forth like 15 kilometers per day. And this was during the autumn. It was bad weather. I didn't care. The inmates, they were saying to me, I need this for change. I want to know about that because I said, what are your dreams? Who do you love? What do you care about in your life? If you could choose your life, what would you do differently? And what is the consequences from your past life and the life you want to live? So I was like giving them a picture, a vision of a future by telling them about my background, my story. And when they told me what they were interested in, then I was sitting the night, I was searching because I knew tomorrow I will deliver what they are interested in. So it was nights I didn't sleep. In the morning, I was cycling, taking the bus, go to the prison. So I know what hard work is about, and you can't just wait for someone else. You can get the chance, but then you need to work really hard.
Excellent, Krister, and I'm really sorry for the loss you suffered from. And of course, life throws challenges to you, and not to succumb to those challenges is bravery. And you are a brave man.
Yeah.
And sorry, you said how old you are. My headgear is not working. You said you are 64.
64. Yes, I'm 64 now. And I'm
I can
retired.
believe,
I
like
retired
you,
2 years ago. I've
you
been
look
working.
like in 40.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I've been working since I was 15 or 12, actually. I
I
was working as a babysitter. I worked with bookstore. I was working at a restaurant. I was dishwashing. I was an errand boy, and yeah, so many different kind of works I've been doing. So I think all people need to work because when we work, we also get the value of work, and then we feel better because we have done something. Because then we can get the food, the money, what we want to buy. So without work, we are like useless and dignity. So it's also, and it's not only about getting money for the work. Sometimes we need to do voluntary work. So I'm also, except for my coaching business, I have a uh, non-profit organization. So we are working also voluntarily. So we are calling it from powerlessness to self-leadership. And then we are working with the meeting, the first meet, how we meet people. We are working with respect. Those are the value keywords, and collaboration, because nobody can do everything by themselves. So that is what I'm doing also. So today I was first coaching, I was with one of my clients and helped with a contract for an apartment so she can be self-dependent. So she is not forced to stay, and she can't trust the social welfare system because it's not working. Sometimes it's not working at all. You can't wait for the social service to pay you. And I always say you need to work. And when you work hard, then you need the network, the right contacts, meeting the right people. And with the right people, you can create a change in your life. But you must start with yourself. Could you hear?
Excellent, excellent. So, Christopher, yes, I'm here. There was a disruption in the connection, which is uncontrollable for me.
Yeah.
Hi, can you hear me?
No, now I can hear you. You were disappearing for a while. Yeah.
Thank you. The disruption from internet, I guess, made me throw away. So, excellent what you are doing for the humanity and how you help people. So, let us go to where you live. How is Stockholm, Sweden looks like for
It's starting to get a little bit colder, but if we talk about the weather, it's very changeable. Some days it has been a lot of rain this season, the whole summer raining almost all the time. At least the last three months, it has been raining a lot. So it's flooded in many places. So that's horrible for some people, some areas here in Sweden. Stockholm, not so much problems with that, but I'm also living in different places. Right now, I am living on the countryside because I am starting up a coaching house, a coach place where people can come and live in the house where I am I am staying. So this is a possibility, and it's on a farm. So it's we grow potatoes, we grow vegetables, and so on, and it's a lake here as well. So it's an old area. So it's a really nice area. It looks as we lost contact. You lost contact again? Yeah, I think, do you have poor internet? Your internet is not so good. No, I don't hear you. No, I can't. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? I don't know if I shall continue to talk because this is we were talking about Stockholm, and I am actually living outside of Stockholm, and um, yeah, we see if coming back. So we see now if you can hear me now. Can you hear me? I am trying stop mute, stop cam, start cam. Can you hear me now? I go in on settings, the audio. Yeah, my audio shall work. Yeah. So it looks like it's your, it looks as it is your connection. Is it working now? Can you hear? No, I can't hear you. No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Can you hear me? No, I can't hear you. Okay, so you can hear me, but I can't hear you. That is strange. Have you tried mute? If you try mute and unmute, unmute. No. Okay. You can write and I can talk then if that's okay. Because I can see you and you can hear me, but I can't hear you. And you can see me and you can hear me. Is that correct? You can write. Because yeah, I talked about Stockholm, and it was not so much to say about Stockholm. Stockholm, it's the capital, and um, yeah, it has gone down. Sometimes we have quite violent in Stockholm now, and we have some problem. I don't know if you have heard about it. You have, I'm sure you have, but most people are really tired of this person. Yeah, the qualities of a good well-being coach. I should say that the most important for well-being is to have empathy, and for being a coach to listen to people, to active listening, to ask the right question, and to support the person so the person will feel that they are the most important in the conversation and you are there only 100% for them. And I think it's also important for well-being that you have experience. So when you hear something, you can ask questions which is based on that experience, but you can't take over. So if I, for example, can hear a person talking about the topic or situation and what they are going through, based on my experience from working life, from many different kind of works, from people, from hospitals, from all kind of situations, I should say that is the most important, that you are present, that you are 100% there, and then you need also to interact. So not stop and say, okay, I don't know. Because if you are a coach, and you say you don't know, then you need to follow up. You can ask, I don't know about this, but can you explain more? What if, what could happen? So with powerful questions, you can help the person to go further and go beyond and create like a vision for the future, for well-being. What would well-being mean for you? Because sometimes when we are talking about things, for me well-being might be something else than it is for you, because your situation might be totally different. And if I have my thoughts, my thinking, my experience, and base everything on that, it can end up totally wrong as well. So curiosity is also very important, I should say, to get to know a person. Can you tell me, describe more about your situation, and also about visions and making some kind of dreams come true for the person to visualize it and to talk about it, and then go to the actions to set up the goals. And it must be positive goals, so the person will feel it's possible to change their lives, so it will be a real well-being. Because also to come up with the reality, it's also important. What is the reality? It's not good if you're saying, yeah, you can do anything, you can do everything, and the person is stuck in the situation where they don't know what do you mean with everything. It sounds good, you're talking like you are in another world, you don't know my world. So it might be a little thing for the person which will be a huge difference, just for being present and say, I see you, I listen to you. And I used to think, if I put myself in the other person's shoes and look from another direction and say, okay, I'm here, I'm scared, I don't know what to do, I am totally lost. How would I like to be met? And if I feel the person honestly ask me from the heart, with love, with caring, that I am here for you, not for me. And the best is when you have a client and the client say they are happy. If I am happy, that's up to me, but it shall not be dependent only on the client. I can be happy with the client. So we are like doing things together. We used to say that we are dancing with the client. So you follow the client. If you go here, you follow the client here. If you go here, you follow the client here. And make the client to feel that they are the most important and listen to. That is, I should say, the most important. Yeah, how to develop empathy for the victims and marginalized section of the society. I should say that is to meet them, to ask them, to talk with them, not about them. You need to talk with people. You need to make this conversation without judgment. You can never meet the person and then you have it, oh, that person murdered someone. This is the worst situation. You might know the person has murdered someone. And if you can't go about that and see the person's actions was totally wrong. But then what is the next step? How the person feels. You will notice by the way they are talking. If they regret, if they are like feeling worthless, if they feel like they have done something wrong. That is important to think in that way, not judge people. That is what I should say is the most important. And the marginalized section of the society, those are, I should say those are the people. One of them called right now. I will call her back because she lives in a very hard situation. You know, people here, they can live in a very hard situation where they are abused, they are abandoned, they have traumas, they have all kind of situations. They are using drugs, they are prescribed drugs from the doctors and so on. And then you need to have the empathy to meet the people, the person, as a human being. And the empathy must also be in some way that you say, when I talk to a person, are you on drugs right now? Do you use it now? Okay, we talk tomorrow about those things. Do you have someone there with you now? Do you need emergency? Do you need someone who are coming so they don't do something stupid during the influence of drugs? I have been working night shifts at support living with addicted people, with criminals. I met one guy, he was in institutions from he was 5 years of age. He told me, you know, I'm hearing the stories behind people who are committing the worst crimes. I should say they are also victims. They are usually abused as children. They have traumas. They are using drugs for escaping, for fleeing from, and they fight for, they are crying inside. So they try to get free and they do stupid things. So the empathy needs to be developed in the same way, meeting the people, asking the people, and with the heart, show you, I'm here for you. What can I do for you? So that guy who he was actually had that death threat, so he was coming to the support living in the middle of the night, one from the freeze house. It's a place where the youth are, and one of the managers were driving him up, and I took him. I was sitting in the night from 3:30 to 8:30 in the morning and listening, talking to him, being there, staying with him, trying to make him feel loved, feel cared about. Someone is there listening. He was up, jumping, walking around. I was, okay, I'm here. Are you afraid for something? Do you think someone will come here? So I was meeting him in the way he was. Then he started later to talk about his background. And his background was horrible. He had seen his sister being raped. He has gone through horrible things in his life. He has been raped himself, you know, a boy, a guy. And they gave him drugs when he was a child. So that story is, I should say, common among. So those people, they are then hurting other people because they don't know anything else. So they are living, I should say, a sick lifestyle. So therefore, I'm also saying that I am a coach change in working with lifestyles. So the empathy is important because you need also to think it could be me. My mother was raped as a child. She was a Finnish war child. So when I was 21, she told me her story that she was raped when she was a child. And those things are not uncommon. I've talked to many people who are victims. So the empathy is coming. And here I say from own experiences as a child to my mother, who was trying to commit suicide so many times, abused alcohol, medication, pills, trying to escape. The same or very similar story I am meeting. So that is background. My wife, I can tell this also, so understand why I can feel it. My wife was adopted from South Korea to Sweden when she was 15. She was living on an orphanage until she was 13 in South Korea. So I always been interacting with people from other countries and have that background as well. Yeah, that question is really good. What do you think? Cross-border connection and discussion like this is important to understand the different human psychologies and develop empathy and affection for each other. I think this is essential. This is the most important because we are human beings. If we remove the countries and the borders and say we are, I used to say we are brothers and sisters, everybody. It doesn't matter what kind of religion, politics, system, what kind of everything. We can remove that. You can't meet the person on an island, and that is the only person. Oh, are you a Muslim? No, no, you are atheist. You are Hindu. No, it's a human being. You need to care about the person, and this is why I think it's so important that we understand our people and don't say so. Now they are trying to polarize people. They are trying to put fire against Christians are burning the Quran. That's a Christian. That's a Muslim. They are doing this, or that's a Hindu. They are doing this, and they are doing that, and it's horrible. I think that's horrible. That is the worst. That's why they are using religion against the people instead of using for supporting each other and respect each other. You have your private belief, I have mine, someone else belief, but we need to think how we are treating each other, how we are meeting each other. Therefore, I think this cross-border connection and discussion like this is so important to understand the different human psychologies. Because what I have heard and what I read, most of it, it's about culture and traditions. And if you think about culture and traditions, then we might think, oh, you were brought up in a country which is Muslim country, or you are brought up in a secularized country or in a Christian country. And if we think about that, it's about culture and tradition. We can help each other to overcome those barriers, those borders, and say, no, you're a brother. You're a man. I'm a man, and this is a sister. You could be my sister. You have a dad, you have a mother, you might have a sister, brother. So we need to think more from humanity perspective, not from a religious or political perspective or power perspective. We can see how those with power are trying to use people as their um, puppets, and that is what I want people to understand. You have a free choice to make a choice to do this, and it's good, or you can do that, and that is bad. It's a free choice. We need to have the civilian courage to stand up for what we believe in and support each other, no matter from which country you're coming. That is my strong belief. Wow, that's a very good question. I would say trust your heart, trust your intuition, get to know yourself first, change and work on yourself. Don't think that you can change the world or others. If you see something so you don't like it, then make sure, can you change it Start to do something to change it. Can't you do anything about it? Accept that is how it is and you can't change it. Leave it. Don't start to spend all your energy to change things which are not possible to change, or spend the time with gossiping or talking bad about other people. Spend that time to change yourself and do something good, which you grow from, and you can also help others to grow. That is what I should say is my best advice. Because if I had done that when I was 30, my life would have looked different today. But I don't regret because I've gone through so many things. But I think those things which I have gone through, that's why I want to coach people. I want to tell them, don't go there. You don't have to go into the rabbit hole. You don't have to follow everything you think. This is nice. This is funny to go here. No, stay. If you have a family, stay with your family. Take care of your wife. Take care of your husband. Don't think the grass is greener on the other side. Work on yourself. Talk, be honest. Tell what you think. Tell your feelings. Be open with it. If you can't do it with your partner or your family, then seek professional help because you can't take everything yourself. My ego was too big when I was 30. Therefore, I was sitting there at the age when my wife passed away 13 years later. Because my steps, if I can see myself when I was 30, I was thinking, yeah, I will fix this, I will do this. And I was sitting there without everything. I was thinking, I was into new age, I was into all different kind of things I wanted to explore. If I had someone who told me, what do you want to do with your life, who do you love, what do you care about, then I would have stayed, I think, at least a little bit calmer. I would not run here and there, and I would feel more confident. That is what I'm coaching people in now. I tell them, do what you have passion for. Plan for the future where you want to be. Set up those goals. Keep the discipline. Keep going. Be prepared on resistance. But don't give up. Keep going. And don't flee. Don't fight. Don't fawn like try to please everybody. You need to know yourself so you can set your limits. You need also to be able to say, no, I don't want to do this. I will not do. Because when you say no in time, you free yourself for saying yes to something you might want. And you can put your energy and focus on that instead. So those are my advices, I should say. It's several, but be yourself, trust yourself, follow your heart. Thank you so much, Remat. I'm very thankful for the invitation, and I'm sorry for you that it was not working so well with the connection, but I'm so used to this. It's happening so often because, and that is something also, it was very good that you didn't break it. You continued. Thank you for that. Thank you. Bye.